gardens that we have, and I really honestly cannot wait for it to be complete. I think it will be beautiful, and I'm so glad for progress so far on this, and for it to be done December 31st. Welcome back. This is a one-bedroom unit. It's about 6 p.m. and there's a lot of light coming in. We actually are benefiting from the sun setting, and yeah, so there's both both rooms are well lit. So this is the living room area, and the bedroom is well lit as well. So yeah, so that cuts across even in the 2 bedrooms and in the studios. Yes, and so far we are doing the electrical works. We have the electrical cables here hanging out. We have plumbing works going on. So we are right on track. So yes, we are at the entrance to the building, and from here you can be able to see that we've done most of the work. We've done most of the structure. The cascading gardens can be really seen from this point. Plasterworks even outside has been done for the first half of the building. We are right on track in terms of completing and finishing. Like we've seen inside, we are on electrical cabling on the 8th floor, or is it 6th floor, and then plasterworks on the 9th floor. And yeah, so right now we're just gearing up towards doing the final floor. So we are trying to we've just done the steel work so that we can be able to cast the rooftop. And yeah, that's so exciting, because you see what? It's the final structure. That's the whole structure, and then now we're just left with doing the finishing here and there, and we'll be good to go. Hi guys, my name is Sally Kimutai, and I'm on site at Royal Suburbs, Roysambu. So Roysambu is a residential area located on Thika Road, and we are just off Lumumba Drive in Roysambu. Okay, so we chose it because of social amenities. Have the Thika Mall, just a store from our. We have Garden City Mall, opposite Garden City. We do have Safari Park as well. About the schools, we have US University around the neighborhood. We have Park University around the neighborhood, and many primary schools as well. So yes, attractive residents, students, and who live, because proximity like Westlands, places like the CBD, and we have a lot of companies. We have Power. A lot of companies stationed along Thika Road. Yes, so it's a very good area. I would recommend to any tenant trying to a good place to stay. As you can see around, we do have trees, so it's a very good chance for urban, yet still affordable to stay at. And yes, so it for now. Yeah, we'll keep you updated on what's happening here at Royal Suburbs as we go along, as we move along, and yeah, that will be.
Sawa. Wonderful. Karibuni sana for another session of Fire Friday. It's always a pleasure to be here. And today we have a very interesting topic, money and feelings. And I hope we'll be able, as usual, to really engage. Before I go further, allow me to pray. Lord, we thank you that you give us wisdom abundantly and freely. Thank you that you allow us to get together, discuss one with another, and exchange ideas. So I thank you for every member of this Fire family. I thank you for the discussion that is ahead of us. And I pray that after all is said and done, that we're going to learn something and use it to benefit ourselves and your children. We thank you. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen. Karibuni sana. It's wonderful. Thank you, Sally, for having taken us through the session of Fire Friday. If you can remove my picture so that I don't see myself from the... Sally has taken us through the site update for Roysambu. For those who missed it, I think go back. I think she did a wonderful, wonderful job. So, karibuni. Feelings and money. Two extremely, extremely exciting things. But I wonder, do they go together? Are they related? Should they be put in the same pot? Or are those things that we need to learn to separate? And I think we will engage today and just find out. So I'm hoping that you have your questions ready. One of the greatest investors, and I quote him a lot, not because I'm an expert, because I think he inspires me, Warren Buffett, has been praised above of all his good traits. One of the most important things he has had is his use of reason, his rationality, his capacity to focus on what makes sense as opposed to just being moved around here and there. Because we all know about money. When you have money, you know that feeling, you get become a little more confident, a little more energetic, a little more brash. And when you don't have money, you become that much more depressed. You become that you feel down. You feel like you can be pushed here and there. But should that be the case? Must that be the case? Are we able to change that narrative? Yeah, because money as a master, she's very moody. It's a very moody mistress. She'll pull you this way and that way. But money as a servant is very docile and extremely obedient. Yeah, so it just depends on where you put yourself. If you put money above you, then your feelings will begin to push you up and down. But if you're able to control money, then I think you have a much stronger method of pushing forward. Okay. We have talked before in these sessions about and routine and reward. So something always happens to us, and it triggers something, and then we go into a certain routine, and then that brings a reward. And getting money is always a trigger, always a very powerful trigger. But many times, getting of that money elicits certain feelings and certain emotions. And those emotions lead us to do certain things. You know, they lead us to make decisions or treat people a certain way. But we have also learned, I think, in these sessions that we are able to rewire that equation. That you can be triggered, you can still receive the money and act a different way. Receive the money and act a different way. In a way that then you're able to make better decisions, much more logically. Yeah. So I think I would really like to engage with you just to see how I can see Nguhi Muturi, Karibu Sana Nguhi, Regina Rohio, Kuna Echo. I don't know what can we do. Sorry, we are still in a site, but we are trying to, maybe you can do a little control. Yeah, thanks Regina for that. Kilemi is welcoming people. Evans Musomi, yes, here the message twice today. Oh yeah, hearing the message twice today means there's an echo. So let's try and sort that out. Kefa, if you can tell me where the comments will be, I would like the picture to disappear. Yeah, so that we're just able to focus. Wonderful. So, trigger, routine, reward. Now, the routine is usually an emotional roller coaster. How do we ensure that we can deal with money without it taking us up or taking us down? How are we able to deal with money in a way that we're able to just be very, very rational, very, very logical, and make good decisions. Yeah. So, and the interesting thing about money is when you don't have it, you get a little of it and it gives you a certain excitement. But as time goes by, you always need more for you to get to the same level of high. So it sort of gets, what do the economists call it? Diminishing returns. Yeah, that you need more to get that high. But what if you're just able to drive a wedge between your feelings and your money decisions? Because the truth is, most people decide on emotions and then use logic to justify. Let me repeat that again. Most people decide using emotions, they decide using feelings, and then use logic to justify. But that can be extremely costly. Later on, I'll talk a little about biases, the biases that make us behave the way we do when we have money around us. So the best place to be is to be able to make decisions based on logic. Purely. Have passion, yes. Be driven, yes. But always be logical, always be reasonable, always be pushed by this space that is somewhere between your ears, and let this other anatomy, let this just be able to pump blood. Okay? Nancy, the feedback from the mic is giving out an echo. Is the way I put the mic? Okay. Okay. When it's fine, please let us know. I think my guys are helping to. Yeah, very many people are complaining that there's echoes. I can see from here. So when it's fine, please let us know so that we're able to. Yeah. Gishohi Liz, welcome. Karibu sana. Karibu sana. Oh, we are okay now, Regina. Thank you. It's fine that you know that we are okay. Very good. Gerald, thank you very much. It's all good now. Thanks, guys. So I'm ready to engage on this topic of feelings, money and feelings. Money and feelings. It will be nice to just hear, how have you dealt with it? Where have feelings come in? Where have you got burnt? What has happened? Any questions that you might have that we were able to. So please carry on and shoot, so that we're able to move on. Okay, for the questions. Consumerism. We're talking about consumerism. Consumerism takes full advantage of the whole idea of money and feelings. That's why things like impulse buying. People are going window shopping. Advertisements. Everyone is always smiling. Certain part of your heart or to some certain neurons in your mind for you to be able to spend using your emotions. Whether it is spending, whether it is investing, whether it is the emotions and how they treat people, all that. People use emotions to be able to make these decisions, these money decisions, and it hurts. It really, really hurts. Oh, by the way, before I forget, as usual, please comment. So I'm waiting for the questions and more comments. Share, subscribe, and like, so that we're able to spread this message. So, guys, I'm still waiting. I'm waiting. Now that the echoes are okay, I'm waiting for the questions. Yeah. So, impulse buying. I think that's a thing that we see. Friday night accidents. If you just study, I think the city of Nairobi or maybe any other city for that matter, most accidents happen on Friday night. Why? People have money, people are going to spend, people are drinking more, or even Friday night end month. Yeah. So it's usually crazy, and that's a lot of things. If you study M-Pesa, M-Shwari, these mobile money loans, I think most of them happen sometime after midnight, between I think 11 p.m. and 3-4 a.m. And that's when people are, why? They're intoxicated and they're just using their emotions to make these decisions. Okay, I can see Munanie saying Fire Family is breaking on Instagram. So let's check that again. Okay. So as I had one of our fire workshops, and somebody says when I'm walking in town, the clothes are calling to me. Say, come. The shoes are calling to me. Why? Because people know. The people who do marketing understand that they are targeting your emotions. Yeah. So guys, I have run out of stories. So I'm waiting for your questions. I really like to give much more time to the questions, and then sometime later about the bias a little. But so please shoot. Yeah. I really hope the sound is fine today. Okay. Wonderful. So nipateni maswali. I'll be happy to engage. I would like to thank a few people who have been very consistent with us. Jerry Anderson, Fumilayo, Ale, Billionaire, Brian Masharia, Gideon Kiragu, Nguhi Muturi. Thank you very much. My daughter Constance, Mwakio Evans Musomi, I can see you're here today. Robert Weru, Shonia Mohammed, Titus Mutinda, you've all been completely wonderful. Gerald Kiragu, all wonderful people. So thank you. So please keep coming, please keep inviting, please, and please begin to shoot. Yeah. What can you share? Gerald has started us off. What can you share about money and friendships when lending? What can you share about money and friendships when lending? That's a very powerful question. When I was in high school, Griffin used to give us, he used to call them career talks. That these are the things that after you're done with school, these are the things that you should think about, and these are the things you should be wary of. And he gave us a quote by Shakespeare, warning us never to deal with lending to friends or borrowing. And I think Shakespeare says, never a lender nor borrower be, for debt loses both money and friends. Something of that nature. Yeah. So I believe if you're to give your friend money, just give them. If you're to give money, I believe in giving. If you're to give money, be careful. Give and don't expect too much. Sometimes they'll pay, sometimes they don't. But try as much as possible to be very controlled about it. Sometimes it's difficult not to lend. But if you're in a position to give, so there's a trick I usually use. Somebody will send me a message. I need, give me a loan of 10,000 shillings, or give me a loan of 8,000 shillings. I tell them, okay, I won't give you a loan. I'm able to send you 1,500, and that's not a loan. And just do that and finish. If somebody asks you for 2,000 shillings, are you able to tell them, okay, here's my 300 shillings, but I will not lend you. I've just given you. Because I realized when I was younger, I was in school. I think I wanted to move out because I wanted to be. I'm in school. My wife is in school. We had a young son, and I went to a friend of mine. I told him, okay, if you can lend me rent for 3 months, and then I'll pay you slowly over 12 months or something like that. And he said no, and I was really hurt. But I'm really, really glad that he said no. Because by him saying no, it made me a little more creative. So I was able to think a little harder and come up with better ideas. And we retained our friendship. He had the money. But had he lent me, because after that things really went down for me, had he lent me, I would not have been able to pay him. And that would have really put a big strain on our friendship. So my thinking about lending to friends or close family, give instead. If somebody asks you for 5,000 shillings, give them a smaller amount instead. I think it works much better, and it reduces the expectation. Regina Rohio, I think the challenge we face is creating a balance between kwambia mwili pole and saying money as a servant. Creating a balance between kupea shukrani, kwambia mwili pole, and having money as a servant. It's very natural that after you've worked hard, you feel it is time to reward yourself. And I can't judge. But for me, I find it a little difficult understanding, why does giving my money away to someone, how do I equate that with kuambia mwili wangu pole? Yeah? It's okay to celebrate. When you've done something good, it's okay to celebrate and reward yourself in the way that you know how. But I think that balance that Regina is talking about is very, very important. Can I plan for it? Can I say, okay, end month, maybe it feels nice to go and have a meal or to have coffee or to do whatever it is. Can I just have that as planned? So that, yes, I can give mwili pole, nipe mwili shukrani, but it is within a plan. Because that kuambia mwili pole, giving thanks to your body, as it were, can make you do things that you did not expect. Yeah, so that balance, I think I agree with you, Regina. It's extremely, extremely important. Evans Musomi, how to differentiate between making decisions with feeling and logic? How do you differentiate between making decisions with feelings and logic? Are there traits to watch out for to know it's feelings based? If that decision comes to your mind because you got the money, however logical it sounds, that will be an emotional decision. I think the logical decisions are made before you have the capacity, before you can afford. So that I sit and say, okay, I want to do 1, 2, 3. I have asked myself, is it within my purpose? Does it fit my 4 things? You know, if it's an investment, for instance, yeah, does it fit those 4 questions? Does the world need it? Am I good at it? Do I understand the economics? Am I passionate about it? I've ticked that box. Is it within my long-term plan of doing things? I've ticked that box. Then I need to do 1, 2, 3. Now, if I got this amount of money, then I will do this because I have decided on it. I've taken time, I've asked questions, I've asked friends, I've read books, I've gone through the motions. When the money comes, by all means, spend it. But if you're going this way, and suddenly you receive money, and it makes sense to go that way, then be very suspicious. A general rule of thumb, be very suspicious anytime you want to spend. And ask yourself, is this logical? Or is it emotion-based? Because as I said, most people make money with emotions and then justify with logic. Yeah, we will call all things, this jacket, the jacket is an investment. Or the other day I was going to one of our sites in Skywalk. I was with my wife, I think that was last Sunday. And they're making the road, so the place is very bumpy, terrible for the car. But you see, I'll only drive that place once. I didn't even have to drive that, it's like a 200-meter little stretch. And I said, hey, if we still had the middle class thinking, we'd have thought, we need a 4x4, so that when we go to site, we are not, but think about it. I've had that car for 10 years. So that little 200-meter stretch would have made us think that it would be a good idea to buy a car. But when you're losing your mind, you're thinking, okay, I do this only once in a long time. We really don't have to, we really don't have to make a decision like that. That's a good question there, Bon Evans. Shonia, what advice can you give against investing emotionally when you have some disposable income? What advice can you give against investing emotionally when you have some disposable income? My fear is, especially when it comes to investments, because you see, when you're investing, you have a long-term plan. You want a return. Chances are it will be a sizable amount of money. If you invest emotionally, chances are you will lose. And I think you'll actually be lucky if you lose the first time, because then you will learn a lesson. There could be a problem if you invest emotionally the first time and it works. Then you think you're a genius. Then you go at it again. Woe unto you if it works again. It's like gambling. So one day you will, because you don't understand why you are making money in the first place. If you don't understand why you are making money, you will not understand how you will lose money. Yeah. So whether your investment gives you a return or it makes you lose, for as long as you used this part of the anatomy to invest, you are in great danger. Again, if you make a good return, you will think you are a genius, and you'll be lying to yourself. If you make a bad, if you lose money, then you will really, really feel bad. But if you're logical about it, investing in something you know, or you're investing with people who know, and you really, I mean, even if you want to come and invest in Savo, really sit down and think. Really think. I would rather you took a little longer. I know my guys in the office will kill me for saying this, but I would rather you took a little longer and investigate. Investigate the site. Investigate us. Investigate me. Check me out. Check, come and see if the place will be occupied. Our place is really occupied, or is it just a story? When you see these things online, come and see. Come to the site and see. Look at the curtains. Don't just look at the thing. Look at the window, the curtains. It's occupied. And check. Have boxes. Even if you're not 100% correct, having those boxes really, really helps. Okay. Where are we? Ngohi, Muturi. Somewhere I read you should always give what you're willing to lose. That way, if they give back, it's a win. If not, if they don't, then you are ready to it. Very true. Especially when lending to family and friends. Yeah, just give. Give. If someone pays you back, well and good. If they don't, in fact, I have a little rule. If someone insists that they want it as a loan, when they are ready to pay, I tell them to pay it forward. I tell them, okay, I have someone else who has this need, please send this money to that person. So that it becomes, I watched a movie a long time ago called Paying It Forward. Yeah, so you make it like a revolving fund. So I agree with you. Give something that you're ready to lose. It makes life much, much easier. Gerald, people compete in the society. This links up feeling, making people buy things they cannot afford to keep the image in check for society. I agree with you. What do they say? Don't buy things you don't need for money that you don't have to impress people that you don't like. Don't buy things you don't need with money you don't have to impress people that you don't like. And Warren Buffett puts it differently. He says, if you buy things you don't need today, you will sell things that you need tomorrow. If you buy things that you don't need today, you are going to sell things that you need tomorrow. Yeah. So this fitting in with the Joneses, the Njoroges, and the Kamaus and the Onyangos, but don't fit in, because I realized when I'm trying to impress Mutua and Onyango, Mutua is not seeing. He's too busy trying to impress me. He's not even seeing. He's not even appreciating my efforts. Yeah. So live your life. Live your life, and you'll be surprised. It becomes that much more fulfilling, and those who envy you actually envy you more for being comfortable in your own skin. Yeah. So this thing of trying to fit in with others, it's really, really dangerous. And I agree with you. I agree with you completely, Gerald. Stephen, kindly touch on coming up with a financial freedom plan, and on every Fire Friday recommend a book on the subject matter. Wow. Okay. Fire Friday. Financial plan, financial independence plan. It's very easy. I talked about, I think one of the earlier videos, I talked about your financial independence number. If you are a certain age, 25, 30, 35, it doesn't matter. Just ask yourself at 65 or at 40, maybe even 15 years from now. So if you are 30, 45, what kind of life would I like to live? And can I assume that I will not have a job, either by choice or by circumstance? I don't have a job. Then how much money will I need? Then you have that number. How much money will I need per month? Not net worth. Just monthly passive cash flow. Passive monthly cash flow. How much money do I need? Then once you have that amount, you have to ask yourself, what do I need to start doing now? What are these very tangible mechanisms I must start implementing today to work on towards that? I'll try and get links. Remind me, guys, to get a few links of books and names of books, and then maybe even every Friday I can be recommending a book. But that's a good thing. But the important thing is to start. Once you, even as you work at that number, sometimes it will take you a little while. It it will take you, I don't know, a month or two, a year, to try and figure out what that number is. I based my number on the fees of my children, yeah? And then I just worked on it like it was cast in stone, yeah? Was it the right number? It doesn't matter. It drove behavior. The important thing is I think the most important thing is to tell yourself a story. Like, this is what I want, and I'm going to work towards this. And then you start and keep moving. You'll have your ups, you'll have your downs, but I think that's the way, that always works. That always works. But I'll suggest some books to be able to follow. Richest Man in Babylon can be the one that you start with today. Just go and buy a copy. It's very entertaining, very easy to read, but the stories are perfect stories, and the lessons, they work all the time. I can see everyone here is on YouTube. I cannot see anyone else from Facebook and from Instagram. Okay. Joyce Ngutu, thoughts on watching a family member you truly care about constantly make bad financial decisions. Yeah. I think, was it last week, 2 weeks ago, my sister had said she's an addict of consumerism, and she wanted us to start a challenge. I think we need to start the challenge. Are we starting? We start the challenge this coming week. Just follow it online. We start the challenge this coming week. There's not much you can do about it. I don't believe. I think you can share. You can live by example. You can once in a while encourage. But woe unto you if that family member is very rich and you are very broke. Yeah, they'll tell you, first make your own money, and then you can spend it the way you're telling me to spend mine. This is my own sweat. I can do with it whatever I want. And okay, they might not even be rude, but the capacity to make a lifestyle change, a paradigm shift, that has to come from someone. Someone must really, really want it. Yeah, it's like what? It's like drugs or alcohol. Somebody you can encourage, you can love, you can set a good example, you can nudge them along, but ultimately they have to make the decisions. One of our investors, a very, very good friend of ours, and I call her my personal guru. She really advises me. Very frugal, very strict. And her younger sister is Uko Yolo. Her younger sister actually looks like my sister, the one who says she's addicted to consumerism. And she just forces her. She brings her here. I know you have money, buy this unit. So they are close enough, and she has sufficient authority and sufficient love, and she means well. And she's able to come and tell her, no, you need to make this decision and make it now. So if you are that close, then you can take those. But I think you need you need to have some dexterity, and be able to just guide the person along. But ultimately, it has to come from inside them. Gohi Muturi, let's talk family. When you are the most financially advantaged, how do you know where to draw the line of helping, so that in as much as you are positioned to help, you also are building your wealth? That's a very good question. That's a very, very good question. And it happens mostly to, those who are financially advantaged, firstborns, as I was. I at some point, I happened to be both, the firstborn and and I decided that if I don't sort out my siblings today, I might have to sort out their children tomorrow. You see? So I decided, what am I going to give towards? And for me, education. Education has always been a must. So if I have a sibling, right now all my siblings are grown-ups. They're all adults. Yeah? But education, where I could, I supported everyone until the place they could reach. That for me is an investment you can't stop making. especially if you have the capacity to. Yeah. Health. If someone is sick, what do you do? Yeah. One of your siblings, an uncle, a cousin, someone close to you is sick. What do you do? Go out of your way. Go out of your way and help them out. The things you must never spend on is other people's lifestyles. If I'm living a full life and you decide your lifestyle is at this level, I really have no business funding that. If my lifestyle is at some place, then I come to you to fund it, you have no business funding me. But I think things like education and health that need to be supported. Or someone who they're trying and they give a child good foundation, and this cheap. Somehow, I don't think you can go without. I don't think giving can rob you of what you have. The things that can rob you are the desire for your own personal gratification, for your own indiscipline. I think others works. Okay? Or someone on Facebook, Fumilayo Asante to pay apartments for free. Let me give you a trick about getting an apartment for free. Actually, sufficient number of people, and if each one of them you get a discount, mathematically it's possible to get that apartment for free. That's one. Two, if you have, say, 2 or 3 apartments will buy for you another apartment. Yeah. So I think it's actually possible to partake it without getting money from your pocket. Last, Uka, my friend from Zimbabwe. Last, Chimbowela. Hi, Mukoma. Hello, Mukoma, my friend. What's wrong with the feeling that you have when you get money, and how can one control that feeling? What's wrong with that feeling? What's wrong with me feeling, I'm feeling good? What's wrong with that? It gets into your head. I think that's just it. It gets into your head, and you end up making decisions. We have a saying, you won't get it, and the translation of a proverb does not work very well. Swahili wanasema maskini akipata matako hulia. Yeah? When you get something, you suddenly feel like a big man. Yeah? That feeling is dangerous. How to control it? What I've learned what to do is have goals that are way bigger than your income, and have a lifestyle that is way smaller than your income. So this is what I earn. Let my goals be here, and let my lifestyle be here. That way, I know first of all, I'm giving up a lot. So this money pains me. And then because my goals are here, I always have somewhere where I'm going to take that money. So I don't have time to make the decisions based on feelings. I can make the decisions based on logic. Dennis, you've mentioned something to do with consumerism. What are some of the strategies that you've been applying over the years to resist the urge to spending, given that you're financially free, which gives you the ability to spend as much as you can? What are some of these strategies? I'm a bit of an extremist, so just don't spend. That's my strategy. Don't spend. Luckily, my wife will go and buy, I don't know, these things, clothes and what have you. But I generally don't spend. And then I have a bigger love than spending on myself. I give. So when I get a stipend from the office, I give it all away. Okay, don't ask me, because I have planned for it. So right now I know when end month comes, I know this one gives this so and so, this one gives so and so, this one gives so and so. Once you have planned, then you don't give consumerism a lot of sway to push you. So once you have your goals bigger than your income, that helps, because you're pushing on towards something. Okay, let me hang on to Facebook for a little longer. James Nyingi, what about opportunities that present themselves? You invest without much of a futuristic goals. How do you control consumption? These once in a lifetime opportunities that come, boom, and you need to be opportunistic. Now, being opportunistic, taking care of opportunities, is an art. It's a science that needs to be learned. And there are rules that govern it. There are rules that govern that art. Rule of thumb, don't do it. There are no once-in-a-life opportunities. Once-in-a-life opportunities come every day. They are always there. If you miss this one, there'll always be another one. If you miss that one, there'll always be another one. However, once you have understood money, once you have full control over yourself, once you have buffers, again, taking a once-in-a-life opportunity is like giving to a friend. If you get it back, fine. If you don't get it back, you can afford to lose it. But also, when you're taking these opportunities, fire bullets and then cannonballs. That's one of the golden rules of taking opportunities. Do it little. It is almost impossible. It can happen, but it is impossible to change your life based on one decision. Don't look at it that way. Don't look at it as a big revolution. It happens cumulatively. It happens by compounding one step, one step, one step, one step. Now, when your financial muscle is less, a step might be a little money. When you're big, a step, your bullet might still be huge, but relative to your net worth or relative to the amount of cash flow you're able to control every month, it's a small step. So it's okay to take advantage of these opportunities, but take time to learn the science. Talking about books, I will recommend a book called Great by Choice by Jim Collins. I think that book everything of ours was. To date we use it. That budget is a cure. It's a cure for consumerism. And for me, when you're doing budgeting, first start. This amount I invest, boom. And then work out on the rest. So first pay yourself first and then budget. But that document is a cure, a sure cure for consumerism, and is a sure cure of stopping you to make your money using feelings. Because then you're following a template. It's boring, I tell you. Following a budget is boring. Investing and spending using your logic is boring. But it is safe, and you make great strides. This other one is very exciting, but I would rather be excited by the returns. I would rather be excited by the reward than to be excited by my foolish actions. Yeah. So Isaac Kilemi, I hope I got you there. Nancy Mukoya is making money decisions based on instinct, an example of making money decisions based on emotions. Yes, you got it right. Instinct, gut, revelation. Nimeonyeshwa. Yeah, gravity works. Gravity is a law. It works whether you like it or you don't like it. It works whether you know it or you don't know it. So for me to believe I can fly, if I understand the laws of gravity, I can create an aircraft and I can fly from here to China. But if I just believe I can fly, I will crash. Yeah. So all those things, the instincts and the iso vitu iso, terrible things. So I agree with you completely. Emily, I like your comment. Be logical when investing. Look at the numbers, expected returns. Do your due diligence, reputation of those you're investing with. What is their track record, and check the legal documents. Go through everything. Yeah. I will even add. Then after you've done all that, multiply by 0.8%, just in case. Give yourself that buffer, just in case. Yeah. If it still makes sense, if you multiply it by 0.8% or 0.9%, then you know you're okay. If you try and pimp it to make it look better, then you are not okay. Remember, it's not a popularity contest. It's a weighing scale. Investment is not a popularity contest. It's not that, oh, I made this thing and it looks really nice. The returns, that's what matters. But for you to get exciting returns, you need to go through all these things that Emily has mentioned here. There's a link, guys. You can put a document Emily wrote on behavioral finance, yeah, and all the biases that are there. From the number of questions, I may not have time to go to the biases, but so Sam will drop a link that you can just have a look at. It's a wonderful document that I think she wrote. Nguhi Muturi, the ladies, even men to some extent, can start by the smart money woman. Oh, nice. Thank you, Nguhi. I've not had that book. I'll probably also try it. The Smart Money Woman, a very nice book on money matters. Asante sana. And by the way, I'm not the only one to suggest books and ideas. I think this kind of thing is wonderful. Emily has also replied something that Shonia asked. Wonderful. Asante sana. Nguhi Muturi, we can draw from last week's session. Available money will always come up with some sort of temptation. Yes. It's one of the biases, availability bias. Yeah. And the temptation sometimes is feeling driven, like spending on what you do not actually need. Very, very true. If the money is there, you will find reasons. So what you need to do is always drive a wedge. Yeah. If this is your feelings and this is your money, drive a wedge. Have a big rift. That feelings are this side, money is this side, and let money be driven by logic. Yeah. Evelyn Kagai Adisa. Evelyn, I have short Kobe jobs and I get fearful. I get short jobs and I get fearful of making long-term investments. How do I get past this fear, and what strategies can I put in place in case of a period when I don't have income? That's a very, very good question. It's a very, very good. So she gets, what I'm understanding, Evelyn, is you get your jobs in short periods, maybe contracts or whatever. So how do you make, so logically, what you need to do is to make investments for the long term. Why? Because these investments will be the only thing that will be constant and consistent in your life. The thing to do is to try and see, okay, if I need to invest in something and, I don't know how long this job will last. It might last 6 months or 9 months. What happens when those downtimes come? And I can say, maybe reach out to Emily. Emily is here. Reach out to Emily and have a phone conversation. Yeah, just DM us, have a phone conversation or a one-on-one, just to understand, because giving advice on something like that, we need to have maybe a little bit more detail. They have to be too detailed, but to have a basic understanding of exactly how do I go about it. And Emily is really good at such things. Yeah, so just DM us and we'll get back to you. But for those who have short-term contracts, so you have these money spikes, you have lots of money, no money, lots of money, no money, lots of money. That's why you need an investment, so that it becomes the constant thing. So that whether you have a big job or you don't have a job, this thing is there. That's what financial independence is all about. That is the general thinking. But for the specifics, I think Emily will be happy to give you some advice on this. Okay. So Shoni had asked Emily, are legal documents available to civilians, or how does one go about obtaining legal documents in the process of due diligence? That's a good question. And Emily's answer is, when investing, e.g. in real estate, you should request for legal documents and you should be given, e.g. a copy of title to confirm ownership, who are the directors and the agreements. Yes, these things are, especially when it comes to real estate, the documentation is always available to everyone. Who else there? Nancy, Emily is replying to Nancy. I'd say instinct and feelings is the same. Consider logic, data, knowledge, and understanding. Understanding of the risks, as well as any investment and how to mitigate the risks. Just let's think about that answer for a while. That I have just got my bonus. Yeah, I did not expect it. So I earn a salary of 10,000 shillings or 100,000 shillings. Suddenly I have a bonus of 400K. And you are telling me I need logic, data, knowledge, understanding. Very difficult, but that is the only way to do it. That is the only way to do it. Otherwise, one of the biases here, what did Emily call it? She called it mental accounting bias. That the money I've really struggled for, this is very important money, so I will use it well. The money that just came in as a windfall, I can blow it. That's what people do with bonuses. That's what people do with inheritance. That's what people do with winning the lottery. Yeah? But once you understand that all money is the same, regardless of the source, that is the time you now need to spend it using a very boring formula. Knowledge, data, understanding, risks, analyze those things. Once you do that, it will just work for you and give you big returns. If you are driven by your emotion, it will punish you. And money is very strange. It does punish. If you use logic, it pays you. If you use emotions, it punishes you. I told you she's a very moody, money is a very moody mistress, but a very subservient servant. Yeah. Fumilayo Ale. Mr. Mcharo, I have no issue with spending to impress. Wow. My challenge is I have no issue with spending to impress. My challenge is I make fast decisions and some. What's the balance decision and acting too fast? So, when it comes to money, rule of thumb, fear is good. Paranoia is good. It's your friend. But there are two ways. You can either go into paralysis, or you can have productive paranoia. So this paranoia can either paralyze you or it can make you productive. Now, reading Jim Collins' Great by Choice will help you. Or even, I think I'd given a talk, I can't remember the name of that video. The one where I talked about productive paranoia and fanatic discipline and empirical creativity. Yeah. Once you have taken time to just zoom in, make decisions before you get the money from Milayo. Before you get the money, make the decision. Say, okay, I have analyzed this thing using logic, data, risk analysis, and all those things, and this is a good buy. So when money comes, don't waste time. Go ahead and buy, because you had already thought through it. Yeah. When you get money, then that's when you're beginning to think through it. Then it might slow you down. I have a general philosophy of philosophy on life, that what takes you through a season are not the things you learned in that season. It is the things you learned before that season. The best money decision is not the decision you make when you have just lost money. It's the decision you make before the losing the money happened. It's not the decision is not made when I have received money. I should have made this decision prior to my receiving money, so that when I receive money, I'm just allocating. In fact, that's a good thing. Warren Buffett, 5 more minutes. Warren Buffett allocates capital. That's what he does. He allocates capital. He doesn't buy. So you need to think of yourself as somebody who allocates. So you need to have done your thinking, need to have done your budgeting, need to have done your investment analysis, need to have done your own needs analysis, and know that money is required here, it's required here, it's required here, it's required here. Then what happens is when it comes, just allocate it. The allocating is not it's not acquisitions. It's not buyouts. You don't use such big names. Just use a simple name, like I'm going to allocate it. That way, you are able to think before and decide before. Sally Kim, how Kamau Omido. Our studio apartment is going for about 2 million. Okay, here is Sally Kim doing her thing. Wonderful, wonderful. Gerald, how does one get money discipline? How does one get money discipline? 1, live below your means. 2, get a financial independence number. 3, use those tricks I've shared. Fire bullets, then cannonballs. And the list can go on. But start living, be conscious. I think about it consciously. And at the beginning, it will sound, that's Gerald, it will sound like you are denying yourself. But in time, you begin to get self-mastery. You actually master yourself. And then it gives you joy. But just start and say, you know what, I have 5 pairs of shoes. Do I really need a 6th one? Then you realize you can actually do okay with your 5 pairs, or 3, or whatever it is. Yeah? And know that victory is not in the buying. Victory is in the doing what you have decided before the money came. That is victory. Yeah. So give yourself small challenges and say, okay, the next 3 weeks I will not spend on consumerism. I will put my money this way. I'm going to, if you have those mobile phone loans over the next a month or 2, I will get out of those things. Yeah, I have a guy, one of the guys sitting here controlling the system. He just told me, you know what? I have had these loans for such a long time. Next month, he weaned himself off. Was it a month or 2? 2 months. He weaned himself off. He lived like, I don't know, like a church mouse. I told him, okay, Kwama Kawisa, come, and I will rescue you. He didn't come, but he learned big lessons. Yeah, so I think just decide and just get it done, okay? Maybe the last minute. Emily has given a good answer, and thanks Savo for posting that behavioral finance document. Be blessed. Listening to you is just God sent. Be blessed. Listening to you is just God sent. Heaven sent us. Heaven sent you to us, Savo family, Fire Savo family. Thank you, Gerald, for all that. All right, guys. I think we are done. We are done. I think it's just about 7 o'clock. Thank you very, very much. I really appreciate. So keep engaging us. Keep asking us the hard questions. I really like when you ask us the hard questions. We want to get better. We want to improve. We don't want to just blow our trumpets. Come and look at our buildings. We are improving, getting better, little by little, day by day. We really, really, really want to hit this thing. If you are thinking of investing, don't wait. Don't wait. Analyze it, try it. Analyze it, start it. And know that it does not matter whether you are lucky and you have a good job that pays you a lot of money. You can live a life that is financially independent of that job, independent of that salary. It doesn't matter if your salary is little and you're thinking, okay, this is all I have. Can I really? Yes, you can. I started this journey was earning 15K. If I could do it, anybody can. Trust me. Yeah, just focus and give yourself time. But start. There is no other way. It will not come by wishful thinking. It won't come by feeling your way through it. You have to think your way through it. You have to will yourself into it. You have to push yourself into it. And you need to attach yourself with people who know what they're doing. And don't trust them. Don't trust me. Search me out. If you ask for a document and we give it to you and you're not sure, ask some more until your mind is clear. Have paranoia, but don't allow paranoia to paralyze you. Have paranoia, but let it make you think and create buffers. And I like the whole idea about books. Read. All the amount of time we spend on social media, just browsing here and there, getting stories, If you spend this time like this, learning stuff, either from us or from anywhere else, the beauty of the internet, it's full of information. And these algorithms, once you start searching, they keep giving you, suggestions. You get stuff, some of it is good, some of it is not good, but just keep learning until you develop something that is good for you. So it's always a blessing. Ndoria Muridi, I was here in Thindigua this week. You have amazing stuff. Thank you, Ndoria. Thank you very much. Amazing. Come and see what you do. So guys, thank you very much. Have a wonderful Friday. Have a wonderful weekend ahead. God bless you. And remember, you owe it to yourself. You owe it to yourself and the generations to come to be financially independent. Thank you very much.